Hello, my name is Cindy Burkhart. I am a realtor here in Citrus County, Florida. I also serve a little bit of Marion County. So if you're thinking about buying in Citrus or Marion County, I am a local agent, a full-time agent at that. So today's video, I want to talk about buyer's agent versus no representation. So if you were going to go buy a house, do you really need an agent? So here's some things that you should think about. So, with a buyer's agent, you have your own advocate that is looking out for your best interest. So, they're going to help you with pricing and recommendations. So, if you were interested in a house that, let's say, is 350,000, and you want to say, is it worth that? Is that what they're going for? Do you think I can do better than that? That agent can go back to the computer and they can look up comparable houses and say, yes, no, this is what I think. This house is very similar, sold for 325. I think we can do better than that. They're going to help you with that pricing. They're going to make sure that you're getting a fair price and recommend kind of, what kind of price point or what kind of offer you should make on that. They're going to help you with inspections. They're going to, schedule that, tell you who's going to do a good job. Um, and they're going to help you weed through what's important when it comes back on that inspection. Some of the bigger things, some of the issues that you might want to let go of that aren't really that important. So they're going to help you. They're going to help you get an idea on prices on maybe the repairs that you might want to think about. Um, and they're going to track deadlines for you. So they're going to write that contract. If you're buying a house, they're going to write it and they're going to put all the terms and conditions in there that are favorable to you, regardless of what the seller has wanted or asked for. They're working on your behalf. So they're going to make sure that they're following those deadlines if that offer is received and the seller accepts it. They're going to make sure that everything is done at the right time and make sure that you are protected. So without representation, what does that look like? So you're going to be talking to the seller's agent when you want to buy that house. The seller's agent is going to be, representing the seller. There's not going to be any emotion in that conversation. They're not attached to that house. They're just attached to the seller and the seller's best interest. So they're going to be a hard negotiator. That's who you're going to negotiate with. Um, so you're not going to have anybody to do your paperwork. Who's going to write that contract for you? Who's going to make sure that your terms and conditions and your timelines are met in there, that they're actually stated in there and then followed so that you don't get sued and that your contract doesn't fall apart? So there is a higher risk for mistakes that can be made on the buyer's side if you don't have representation because that agent, they're very familiar with what can go wrong and what has to be met when and where, and typically they have it done before the timeline even gets closed. So you can get sued. It is a contract. You can get sued for hundreds of thousands of dollars if it's not right. So you got to think about, yeah, you got to pay a buyer's agent, but you know the seller has been picking up most of the cost for quite some time. So you might have to pay a small portion. You might not have to pay anything. That could be a part of the negotiations, is that the seller picks up the agent's, your buyer's agent's compensation. So again, that might not cost you anything, but it may save you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you should get sued or something goes wrong with it. So um, a buyer's agent really is your advocate. You have somebody representing you. If you have a question that comes up and you can't sleep at night, you call your agent. They're there for you. They tell you they got it handled. So um, yeah, it's not a problem. Just if you need an advocate and you need a buyer's agent, just give me a call. My phone number is 352 601 8627. I hope to talk to you soon.